It's a question that's been asked many times. What would have happened if the Axis powers, namely Germany, had won World War II instead of the Allies? If Germany had won World War II instead of the Allies, one can only imagine the very different world we would live in. For starters, the face of Europe today would be drastically different. The nations on the European continent would likely be divided into various provinces and fiefdoms belonging to the German Reich. Political and economic alliances would be subject to the whims of the German government rather than emerging from diplomatic discussions between world leaders. The years following the conclusion of World War II would have been marked by great change. Many countries would have been forced to restructure their legal and political systems according to German standards and cultural norms. Minority groups such as Jews and Roma would have been persecuted even further and may have experienced complete genocide at the hands of the Nazi regime. Moreover, a German-controlled Europe would not have seen the development of the European Union, an organization whose mission is to promote peace and prosperity in the region. At the outbreak of war in 1939, Germany was seen as a formidable force, and without the help of the US sending supplies to Britain, much of the British Isles would have become a conquered territory. The Nazis would have wiped out anything that was deemed to be an enemy of the state, and that includes opposition political parties, labor unions, religious groups, and the art world. The Royal Navy would have become part of the German Navy, and the RAF would have been integrated with the Luftwaffe. German troops would have also been positioned in London and throughout the country. The British people would have faced a life of harsh repression. A form of occupation, similar to that used in Eastern Europe during the war, would have been employed with summary executions and torture commonplace. This would likely also extend to North America, where the Nazi regime could have exerted its influence. The political landscape would be profoundly different. Without the US as a superpower, there would be no NATO and no United Nations. Germany would have even become involved in Canadian and American affairs. The Nazis could have imposed their ideologies on both countries, with severe implications for civil rights and freedoms of speech. The economic consequences would also have been far-reaching. Germany would have gained access to the resources of North America, leading to immense expansion of their economy. This could have caused inflation and other destabilizing effects on our nations. The moon landing of 1969, for instance, would not have happened. The most prominent scientific minds of the era would have been put to use advancing the military and political agendas of Germany. Werner von Braun would have stayed in Germany advancing the development of the V2 rocket, which Germany would have monopolized on for space exploration. This could have meant a massive jump in technological development and a sudden shift in global power balances. As for the 21st century, 9/11 would likely have never happened. Greater censorship would have been the norm, with free expression limited by government control. The global internet as we know it would not exist, and technology wouldn't have evolved in the same way, leading to left-behind nations. All of these scenarios are of course hypothetical, but it is important to remember that the course of history can change drastically, depending on a few small decisions.